The sailors froze in terror upon encountering this in the middle of the ocean. The Sea Hope drifted across the endless expanse of the Pacific, its hull creaking under the weight of exhaustion and failure. 14 days at sea, and not a single worthwhile catch. The crew was drained, physically, mentally, financially. Their supplies were running low, their fuel nearly spent. If they returned to port empty-handed, they wouldn't just be broke. They'd lose their fishing license, their livelihoods, and perhaps even the ship itself. At the helm stood Captain Nielsen, his salt-worn hands gripping the wheel like a man clutching onto his last chance. His storm-gray eyes scanned the horizon, searching for hope in an ocean that had given them nothing. His first mate, Miguel Ramirez, a man who had spent his life reading the sea's every whisper, sat beside him, silently puffing on his old tobacco pipe. The rest of the crew lingered across the deck, silent, awaiting the inevitable command to turn back. And then, it appeared. A faint glow beneath the waves. Subtle at first, a mere flicker in the abyss. But then it grew, an eerie pulsating light that shimmered like a submerged sun. It wasn't natural. It wasn't the reflection of the moon, nor the flicker of bioluminescent creatures. It was something else. Miguel was the first to break the silence. "Captain, tell me you see that." Nielsen did, and against all reason, against every ounce of logic that screamed at him to turn away, he made his choice. "Adjust our course," he ordered, his voice steadier than his heart. "We follow it." The crew hesitated. Superstitions ran deep among fishermen, following an unknown light in uncharted waters. It was madness. It was how ships disappeared into legend, how sailors vanished without a trace. But they were desperate, and so, against their better judgment, they obeyed. The Sea Hope turned toward the glow, unknowingly sailing toward the impossible. The Sea Hope glided through the water, drawn toward the unnatural glow pulsing beneath the waves. The silence among the crew was suffocating, their minds torn between fear and curiosity. The rhythmic hum of the engine was the only sound, apart from the distant crash of waves against the hull. Then, they saw it. A colossal school of tuna, glistening silver under the eerie light, shifted in perfect unison beneath the surface. It was an impossible sight, thousands of fish moving as one, their scales flashing in the deep like living stars. It was the kind of catch fishermen could only dream of, a haul that could change their fortunes in a single day. "Captain," Miguel murmured, his breath catching in his throat. This isn't normal." But Captain Nielsen didn't hesitate. His voice rang out, sharp and decisive. "Get the nets ready. We take what the sea gives us." The crew sprang into action. The ship came alive with movement, ropes uncoiling, pulleys groaning, men racing to their stations. They cast the first net, watching as it sank into the glowing depths, swallowing the silver mass of fish whole. The moment it tightened, the deck shuddered under the weight. They had hit the mother lode. But as the men pulled and strained, something else moved beneath them. From the corner of his eye, Miguel spotted a shadow, massive, slow, and ancient. His hands gripped the railing as he peered into the abyss, his heart hammering in his chest. It wasn't a fish. It was something far, far bigger, and it was watching them. The nets strained under the weight of the impossible catch, the ropes groaning as the crew fought to haul them in. Sweat dripped from their brows, their muscles burning, but the thrill of success pushed them forward. For the first time in weeks, they had hope. Then, the sea changed. The glow beneath the waves flickered, as if something had disturbed its source. The ocean, once eerily calm, began to shift. A cold wind slithered through the air, and the once smooth water now rippled with an unseen force. The men paused, exchanging uneasy glances. And then, it rose. A colossal shape emerged from the depths, blacker than the void itself. The water around it churned, revealing a monstrous form, its outline barely visible against the night. The crew froze, paralyzed by a fear older than time. Miguel staggered back, gripping the railing as the impossible creature surfaced. It was neither whale nor shark, but something ancient. Its massive, gnarled body pulsed with an eerie bioluminescent glow, the same light they had followed, now twisting and spiraling across its hide like veins of fire. Then it opened its eyes, two enormous abyssal voids that seemed to drink in the light itself. The ship lurched violently as the creature exhaled, a deep guttural sound that rattled their bones. The sea around them became a swirling maelstrom, waves rising like walls, the wind howling like a chorus of lost souls. "Cut the nets!" Captain Nielsen roared, his voice barely audible over the storm that was now born from the deep itself. But it was too late. The ocean had woken up, and it was angry. The Sea Hope was no longer a ship. It was a speck, a fragile scrap of wood tossed upon the wrath of the abyss. Waves the size of buildings crashed against its hull. Rain lashed at the deck like whips, and the wind screamed through the rigging with a fury that felt almost sentient. But the worst was beneath them. The monstrous entity from the depths had fully surfaced now, its massive, gnarled body glowing with the eerie bioluminescence that had lured them here. The swirling veins of light pulsed, as if alive, reacting to their presence. Its eyes, those abyssal voids, stared at them with something beyond mere awareness. It was ancient, unforgiving, and they had trespassed into its domain. Captain Nielsen clung to the wheel, fighting against the churning chaos, his voice hoarse from shouting commands. "Cut it loose, now!" Miguel and the others raced to the nets, hacking at the ropes with knives, their hands numb and shaking. The nets were filled to bursting, but it no longer mattered. If they didn't release their catch, they would all die here. One final slash, the rope snapped. The heavy burden that had tethered them to the sea was gone. The mass of tuna sank back into the abyss, vanishing into the creature's glowing depths. For a moment there was nothing but silence. Then the storm stopped. The monstrous entity lingered, watching them. Then slowly, impossibly, it descended back into the abyss, vanishing into the deep, the glow fading with it. The sea calmed, the winds died, and the sky, now clear, revealed the first light of dawn. The crew stood shaking, breathless, their minds struggling to comprehend what had just happened. Miguel turned to the captain, his voice barely above a whisper. "What was it?" Nielsen exhaled, his storm-gray eyes locked on the endless, dark ocean. "A warning." The Sea Hope limped back to shore, empty-handed, but forever changed. No one spoke of what they had seen, for who would believe them? But they all knew one thing. There are things in the deep that man was never meant to claim, and the ocean never forgets. What do you think really happened out there? Was it a warning, or something even more terrifying lurking in the deep? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. Would you have cut the nets, or risked it all for the catch of a lifetime? We're reading every single one of your theories. If this story sent chills down your spine, make sure to hit that like button. It helps us bring you even more incredible tales from the unknown. And if you love mysterious, thrilling stories like this one, subscribe now and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Who knows, the next story might be even darker. Share this video with your friends, because some stories are too unbelievable to keep to yourself.